It is now 6:02, time to call our regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors to order on July 26, 2022. We have all 5 board members present. Our clerk, Teresa Lyle. We have the IT guy, Adam Mullins, here. We have our county administrator. Our attorney, Will Sturgill, will be joining us by phone. And we have our economic development council, Mr. Bud Phillips, with us tonight. Mr. Sturgill, do you need to speak up and tell where you are or what? Or do you have to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Will Sturgill, county attorney. I'm out of town currently, participate by phone up in Boston, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
Thank you. And Mr. Barton, will you lead in prayer?
Sure.
And following prayer, Mr. Peters will lead us in pledge.
Good. Let's bow our heads. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we just so humbly come before you once again this evening, Lord. Lord, we just pray that you'll be with us tonight, Lord, as our supervisors discuss the county's businesses, Lord, tonight. Lord, just be with them, Lord. Give them wisdom to make decisions, Lord. And Lord, just be with our county. Be with all those afflicted with COVID right now, Lord. Those sick, Lord. Those in bereavement, Lord. We just pray that you'll be with those families as well, Lord. Watch over us, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
If we'll all stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 4 on our agenda is approval of our minutes from last month's meeting. We only had the hearings, public hearings, and our regular meeting as our minutes for this past month. Any comments, corrections that needs to be made? If not, do I hear a motion to approve our minutes?
So moved. I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
And a second, please.
I'll second.
All right, we have a move and second on the floor. If no other comments, all in favor, please say aye to our approval of our minutes.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 5 is the approval of the agenda. And I believe we do have 2 additions that has addendums that's laid on our desk. This is the adding 15A under other business, Dickinson County Public School carryover, and 3 items for consideration for the ARPA funds. Are there any other?
Madam Chair, I would request to add probably to 11, make it 11C, if it's okay with the board. Appointment to behavioral health. I'm gonna step down from that, and I got someone I want to assign to it,
Okay.
if the board sees fit.
If we don't have any other additions or any other any corrections, then I will hear a motion and second to approve the agenda with the additions.
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a move and second to approve the agenda as listed with 3 additions. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Number 6 is moving on down to our county administrator's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have the County Administrator's Report for the month of May 2022. Looking first at the General County Fund, we had revenue for the month of May of $4,158,963. Expenditures were $1,824,149. Year-to-date revenue, $25,933,975. Expenditures, $24,641,743. The local coal and gas road improvement fund revenue for the month of May was $1,137,497, with expenditures at $366,717. Year-to-date revenue was $7,281,391, with expenditures of $3,051,418. The E911 fund for the month of May revenue was $21,938, with expenditures of $135,793. Year-to-date revenue, $801,927. Expenditures, $891,748. Lastly, the Federal CARES Act for the month of May, revenue of $79. Expenditures of $170,401. Year-to-date revenue, $456,048, and expenditures, $963,724. I'll answer any questions that the board may have.
No questions, comments? Then I need a motion and second to accept the county administrator's report.
I'll make that motion to accept it.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second it.
We have a move and second on the floor to approve the county administrator's report. All in favor, please say aye. Aye as well.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, number 7, our expenditures.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Looking at our expenditures for the month of June, from the general county fund, we had $948,364.55. The E911 fund expenditures was $104,715.44. The coal and gas road improvement fund, $5,442.13. And the Federal CARES Act was $10,495.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we approve that.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a move and second on the floor to approve the expenditures from the general county fund, E911 fund, coal and gas road improvement fund, and our Federal CARES Act fund. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Moving on down to number 8 for public comment. Our telephone number is 276-333-0357. Anyone watching that would like to call in and make a comment, there is a 3-minute limit for speaking. And if there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak, you may also step forward to the podium. Everyone has to state their name and address and 3-minute limit.
Hi, I'm Robin Davis. I'm with the Dickinson County Youth Soccer League, and I live, do you want my full address or just
Yeah, your number, yeah.
3800 DC Caney Ridge Road, Lintwood, Virginia.
Okay.
And I just want to take a second and thank Rhonda and you, Miss Peggy, and Josh for your contribution to the soccer league. It is greatly appreciated. We had 120 kids sign up in the spring, and we've just started sign-ups for the fall. So we're hoping as many as that this fall. But we lose them to football and cheerleading, so I'm not sure we'll get that many, but I'll take whatever we can get. So thank you all. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you all do too.
Appreciate it.
I was out there for practice, and it was I had a nephew and a niece both playing, and they really enjoyed it, and I thought it worked real well being behind here. Do you think it did?
Yes, it's a wonderful field. We really appreciate it. Got to do a little work for this fall just because of weather and stuff, but we really appreciate it. And we've heard really, really great things from people about how they much prefer it up here.
Yes, it's much easier to get to
Yes.
than Pound River.
It is.
Yeah. I appreciate all the volunteers and those that are working with kids. It's not easy. And mine are 8 and 6, and they really enjoyed it. And they was like all over the field, Faith managed to hit every mud hole back there. Well, I think there was only one mud hole there, and she got in it and wallowed in it, but thank you so much for what you do. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you all run a very good program. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Harry Childers, live at 171 Brush Creek Road. I'd like to speak tonight about economic development. I want to compliment this board, and especially Mr. Phillips, for developing a very professional economic development plan to be used in this county. We've been behind, and now's a chance to catch up. We're getting to the point where we can do some things, I think. I know you all have interviewed some people for the Economic Development Director. I would encourage you to hire a professional, someone who knows your business, someone who has some background in that area as well as you can. And what I'd most like to ask you to do is do what is best for Dixon County, for economic development, and not what is best for some politically. That's exactly what I'd love to see you all do. Now, 2 years ago, we heard some of you campaign on those very comments, that things were done, you weren't going to do things like previous boards have done them. Well, you've talked the talk, and now, as my dad used to tell me a lot of times, now's the time to walk the walk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen.
thank you.
Harry.
We have a Paul Oakman on the line.
Okay. Go ahead, Paul, we'll let you follow in line. There's no one at the podium to speak in person, so you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Sorry I couldn't join you in person tonight, but actually tagging on to the economic development, I shared what I'm going to share at the IDA board meeting last night. I would just recommend, as the county is moving forward with economic development, to consider getting a municipal certification, the ISO 9001 certification. This is an international quality standard, and I think as we're trying to recruit companies to come to our area, having our county administration being ISO 9001 certified will instill a lot of confidence in those organizations about our administration, our ability to manage and to put quality at the forefront. So as we're planning, just keep that, I would keep that in mind. I think it would be a huge asset, a huge stepping stone in economic development and then ultimately economic growth. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Anyone else on hold? Okay. Anyone else for public comment? Our telephone number is 276-333-0357.
That was Paul leaving.
Oh, okay. Okay, I believe no one else is here and no one else is called. If I can get a move in second, we will close public comment and move on to item number 9.
I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a move in second on the floor to close public comment. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Number 9, Southwest Virginia Works. If Stephanie, is that your name? Let me look. Yeah. Can you come forward, please?
Hello, I'm Stephanie Edwards, and I'm a youth case manager with Southwest Virginia Works. I oversee the WIOA program in Dickinson County, which you all may know assists individuals overcome barriers to education, training, and employment. But I'm not here to talk about WIOA today. I am here today just to say thank you. Several months ago, the board approved a proposal from my agency for the use of ARPA funds. You guys graciously awarded us with this funding to be spent on in-school youth. It was a little slow to take off due to lingering COVID guidelines, but I think it has paid off. I've successfully enrolled 10 youth under the ARPA funding so far. One of them needed assistance gathering her birth certificate and social security card, so that way she'd get her learners. We're working on that now, and hopefully we're going to get her license. One needed car repairs so that she could safely make it back and forth to work. And the other 8 are doing summer work experience, so they're working with our local employers. They are learning essential soft skills that they will need in whatever career that they pursue. They're working on time management, following supervisor instructions, completing assigned tasks, and most importantly, they're learning to accept constructive criticism instead of getting in trouble once and being afraid to speak up or be afraid to get fired. So I think that's a good opportunity for them. Every 2 weeks when they turn in their timesheets, the supervisor does a short evaluation about their attitude and their performance at work. And this gives us an opportunity to address any issues that they're having, but so far so good. I haven't had any complaints. They say patience is a virtue, and I believe that because these employers have been really awesome. They've taken these youth clean blank slate, and they are teaching them what it means to be a good employee. They're providing a foundation that these youth are going to need to build on for the rest of their lives as they pursue their career goals. I've not provided you with significant numbers today, but in this respect, I think quality is better than quantity. I asked some of the youth and the employers to provide a statement or quote, and I'm going to paraphrase some of these because they were texted to me, so there's no punctuation. Isaac Deal was placed at CNC Farm Supply. He said, "Thank you for this opportunity. I've learned a lot more about working and learned more skills. I really am thankful for this opportunity." Carter Branham from CNC Farm Supply said that this is a great program to help give kids life skills. He said that more programs like this need to be offered for our youth, and that he's proud to be a part of it. Allison Mullins, attorney at law, said that she would like to thank you all, and her experience so far has been wonderful. She has a young lady working for her named Emily. She said she's helped get our office better organized. She fills in for employees that are off and always asks if there's anything else that she can do. She has a positive attitude and is a diligent and efficient worker. And Emily said she absolutely loves this job. She loves working with Allison. She said she does a little bit of everything around the office, and she thinks it's important to work and earn money so that you can have, or so she can have a better life, and she wants to thank you for providing her this opportunity. So I'm not here to ask for future funding, but keep us in mind if you ever have any available, because I know that I will definitely pursue it. By making these small differences to these few youth, we're making a big difference in tomorrow's workforce. Thank you again.
So in your report, you have 9, but you really have 10.
Yes, I have 10, I'm sorry.
Ms. Edwards, I really appreciate you coming and giving us that information. So many times we, send money out to organizations or agencies, and we don't ever hear about how it was used or the benefits, but I really enjoyed hearing that, and I appreciate you giving us the information, and I'm really glad we're making a little bit of a difference. So
You are.
Thank you for
all.
coming.
Thank you all. I think Robin wants to talk about the cars to work.
So I'm Robin Davis, the adult and dislocated case manager in Dickinson County for Virginia Career Works. I do the WIOA program. But at the same time that you gave us the funding for the youth ARPA money, you also gave us funding for the Cars to Work program. and I did just want to briefly go over that. The purpose of it was to place individuals in vehicles so that they could get transportation back and forth to work, to find employment or to continue in employment. And as you know, in Southwest Virginia, that is a real challenge. We have public transportation, and I'm very grateful and appreciative of that, but it is not something that someone can rely on to get back and forth to work. A lot of times, you take an individual in Hayside, they find work in Clintwood, they can get a ride there through the transit, but sometimes can't get a ride home. So we placed several families and several youth in cars successfully. We made repairs to those cars before they purchased them, and since they purchased them, if they've had something come up that they couldn't afford, we were able to repair those cars so that they can continue to use those cars. We helped some pay DMV fees, insurance fees to get started, so we didn't just hand them a car and then tell them to figure it out on their own. We were able to help them with that. So I did want to tell you that we much appreciated that money. And again, not after any more funding, but we're always welcome to funding. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for sending the email to me asking if you could come and report that. And I'm glad to see us reach out to young children, not just to businesses, to what they need to keep their business going, but for young people to show them what having a job is. And I'm glad we could help. And I appreciate you coming. Come back anytime with any reports that you want to give us.
I thought it was amazing that, we had this summer work experience that could go for 16 to 24 years old, and 9 out of 10 of the ones that I do have are 16 years old. So I think it says a lot about that generation. I think they're motivated and ready to enter the workforce, so I'm hopeful that they'll hopefully make a difference.
Let's just hope that them 16-year-olds gives good comments and tells others, what they experienced in working and hey, I made this money and I could buy this or whatever. Yeah.
Madam Chair, I'd like to say something.
Yes.
Hey, I'm very impressed. We need to reach out to our younger folks and that. And I would tell you, if you have requirements, I can't promise you we can support them, but you should always reach your hand out. We may, with the monies that we gave you on that, we have to be careful to hold back because this COVID's still around, as we know. But it still doesn't mean in the end we might be able to do some more. So please, I want to encourage you to, because the young ones are the ones, that's our future. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 10, the general registrar. Mr. Barton, do you have, or is Kayla going to
Ms.
present
Steele's
that?
here. She can-
Okay.
So what I have presented to Larry is a sales contract to purchase electronic poll pads for use in the precincts on Election Day. This is something that the need has become due to the town elections been moved to November elections. We now have to have, of course, the 3 towns. It'll affect 4 precincts on Election Day. But we have to have something that alerts the poll workers to that this person is an in-town voter so that they get the correct ballot style when they move on to the ballot officer table. So I have presented to Mr. Barton the contract that they have sent to us. The total cost comes to $23,290.
It's in the addendum, right, Larry?
It is, but it's also under item 10.
Yeah, we're kind of on there twice, I think, for this, because there is the request for the money, and then there's also the sales contract. I've reviewed the sales contract to make sure that, it's included sufficient training for not only my office staff, but also the officers of election that will serve this November. They'll also work with us to train them as well if this is something that you guys feel we can move forward with. Larry and I have had several discussions about it. I know it is a great cost, but I felt like I reached out to 4 different vendors, one of which never got back to me. They don't have their product certified yet. But we saw estimates anywhere from the $23,000 all the way up into $60-some thousand. So I felt like, this company, it's used in Wise County. Buchanan County is actually moving forward with the purchase. Hopefully at their next board meeting, they'll make the decision to move forward. They're used in Washington County. The city of Bristol's moving forward with purchasing from this company. So it's a well-known company in the elections department. Several localities around us are using it. I'm actually leaving on Sunday to go to Roanoke, and I'll have a demonstration with this company, on how their print on demand will work. Because that's another thing, as you know, I had to come back before you guys with a budget amendment because of the print on demand situation where we have to separate the results by precinct now for early voting. So when somebody comes in to early vote, instead of us already having ballots in our office, as we're checking you in, we will actually have to print that ballot in our office to give to you at that time, because it will have to match what district you're located in and your precinct that you're located in. So, do you all have any questions for me at this point?
We used to have electronic poll booths.
We did,
I
and
thought we did.
we had the actual laptops at one time, and the company who had that, their software did not get certified again. Now, they have moved forward, and I did reach back out to them because unfortunately those electronic poll books we had to destroy those. They were not able to be updated. They had hit a point, like any electronic, that we couldn't update them anymore. And so they had to be destroyed. But that company was not able to get their certification at the time, so we'd had to kind of back off. When I reached out to them this time to get a price quote from them, they were close to 60-some thousand. So, and then of course, we'll have an annual service contract agreement with these people where we'll pay based on the iPad that we have, and that came in lower than any of the others as well. So it will really streamline the election process, honestly. It will allow the officers of election, when you come in, if you have a voter card, instead of it being them having to actually manually key in your information, they'll be able to scan that and pull you up right then with your voter card. They're moving forward with, hopefully in the very near future, we'll be able to scan driver's license. So it would pull it up, which will help with juniors, seniors, those kind of things.
Madam Chair, I wanted to ask, has Will had a chance to look at this?
We have forwarded this to him, I think. Is that correct, Will? 'Cause we've had this for some time back in
Yeah.
April.
Yeah, that is correct, yeah.
I just wanted to double check. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
I think it meets our needs, everything that we're gonna need moving forward. And having spoke with Wise County is probably the closest one to us that's had them for any length of time. They've had them for several years, and from her experience with them, they've been phenomenal with any issues she's had, reaching out to them and everything. So they have a very good reputation as far as that goes. So.
Is this a two-part contract, the 23,000
With the
and the
poll grant?
6,600?
Yes, the 23,000 will be for the actual poll pads that'll be used on election day. The 6625 is actually for the print on demand system that we'll have for early in-person voting.
Oh, okay.
Like I told you guys before, unfortunately, this results by precinct comes at a very, very high cost to our locality. I mean, I've already come back $13,000 more on the budget because of it for the coming year. Now we're looking at this 6,600, and I actually just told Larry I'm gonna have to meet with him about another printer that we're gonna have for ballots that's gonna go by mail. And from the rough estimates of that I got today is, we're looking at a pretty hefty bill for that, maybe upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 to purchase the printers for that. So, and like I told Larry before, I encourage you all, I can't because of my job role, but I encourage y'all to reach out to your legislators and let them know what an expense this has caused us. And they're also the ones who made the permanent move for the towns. It used to be the towns that could decide if they wanted to move to November, and some localities did. Most did not, because they feel like, especially on presidential year, they'll get lost in the shuffle, because most of the time they're going to fall on the backside of the ballot. A lot of people may not fool with flipping it over, no matter how many times we tell them. So it wasn't the towns that made this decision. The legislators finally put it into law that there would be no more town elections. So.
And how long is this program good for as long as they keep their,
Yes, they will keep going through certifications
Yeah.
just like our voting machines do. So we will be fine. They were just recertified, and I believe their certifications are for 4 years. So, and that'll be on
Will we pay
them.
the fee every year?
We will have to pay a software and license fee every year, just like we do with our voting machines. And that will be to keep our side of it updated. So I will handle all the updates for these in-house, unlike the voting machines where we have someone come in that actually will update those. This will be on me to actually keep them updated, but they will provide me with all the softwares and updates that I need.
questions, comments?
Sounds good if you can get your poll workers trained.
Yeah. And they will actually, they're going to come in, and with me and my office staff, they will do a full day's training, because obviously there'll be more on my side of it than what the poll workers will deal with. And then they will do as many Zoom meetings as I need to train officers of elections. So,
Thing of it is, you don't know who your officers are until midnight that night.
and sometimes I don't know then. Sometimes it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm
Yeah, that's
calling
good.
somebody. So,
Hard to get good poll workers.
it really is. It is. You know, we were looking today. I mean, it's slim pickings, you know, and I've got 11 precincts that the law says I have to have at least 3 people there. So, I mean, plus I have a central absentee that I have to have 3 people at. So, at bare minimum, I have to have 36 people. And obviously, like at South Clintwood and Hayside-Cawley, 3 people can't run that precinct. So, bear that in mind. If you know people that would be willing to work, that'll show up, that will
I
work.
see one back there in the audience that's retired.
I think you missed that.
No, he didn't miss it. He just slowly raised his eye.
Well, stop by my office anytime, Harry, and I'll get you fixed right.
Make a good poll worker.
Anybody that knows anybody, honestly, send them my way, because we will, you know, in next year being county election year, it's going to be a lot busier, and then presidential election, so.
Well, you know, you suggested to Harry there, whoever steps forward should get the job. You 3 step back.
Madam Chair, if I might clarify, in both of these quotes, it shows the year 2 and year 3 license costs, so we're looking at a couple $1,000s a year after we make our initial investment here. And of course, in the addendum, the 15B, we are doing an ARPA request to pay for these out of ARPA funding, so.
So we need a motion to approve this.
Approve me to sign this contract.
Madam Chair, I make the motion, we approve the contract.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Well, I'll second it. I think we have to. I don't have a choice.
We have a moving second on the floor for Mr. Barton to sign this contract to move forward with this No Ink, which is a election poll pads and things. All in favor, please say aye. Aye as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you. I probably should have said thank you, Ms. Steele.
Oh, it's
And
okay.
and not do first name, I'm sorry.
No, just leave it okay.
Okay, item number 11, moving down to appointments. Item A on here is Mrs. Willis's Kennedy District, that she represents the Kennedy District for PSA. And we have a letter asking that she be reappointed.
Madam Chair, I would like to reappoint myself back to that board. I really enjoy that board. And I would like to serve another term on that board.
I'll second that motion.
Who is the Clintwood? Is Dr. Lyle still the?
Dr. Lawler, that would.
Is this a 1,
is.
2, or 4 year?
It's 4.
Okay. I just didn't see it in there. Thank you. We have a move and second to reappoint Mrs. Willis to the Dickinson County Public Service Authority Board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Okay, item B is Southwest Virginia Community College. We tabled this from last month for Mrs. Judy Compton. Her term has expired, and she has requested not to be reappointed. Are we tabling this, or we?
I would like to make a motion that we ask Mr. Bud Phillips if he will take that board appointment.
Madam Chair, if the board has confidence in it that I can do what I need to do to represent the county, I'll be glad to accept if that's what you'd like to do.
Okay.
I'll second.
And a second, you second
I'll
that?
second it.
Okay. We have a move and second to appoint Mr. Bud Phillips to the Southwest Virginia Community College Board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. And then our third one is the one that got added tonight from Behavioral Health.
Okay, this is my appointment for my district. I'm currently on it. I'm gonna step down, and I would like to appoint.
Can I interrupt you just a
Sure
minute?
can.
I think we have to vote on his resignation first, don't we?
Oh, that may be.
Well, he's not resigned yet.
Well, I'm resigning. I
Okay.
said it in the
Yeah.
first part of the statement, so let's do
This
that.
is- yeah,
Okay.
the voting.
And Mr. Sturgill said yes,
Why
that we
you
needed.
resigning?
Yep, yep, I'm
just-
resigning.
How come?
I
I'm
just
just
got
curious.
enough on my plate, and I want to back up a little bit.
I'll make a motion, Madam Chair, we accept Mr. Peters' resignation from the Behavioral Health Board.
Okay, second.
I'll second it if that's what he wants.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we have moving second to accept Ron Peters' resignation from the Dickinson County Behavioral Health Board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now the appointment.
I would like to appoint Mr. Dennis Deal, works for the school.
I'll second that.
Who'd you say, Mr.
Dennis
Peter?
Deal,
Janice?
yes.
No.
No,
Dennis.
Dennis
Dennis,
deal,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
He is the principal at Sandlick, is he not?
well, he may have moved up to the hill
Oh,
now.
he has moved
Yeah,
up to
but
the
he's a
central
great,
office.
he's a
Yeah,
great
he
guy.
is. He's a good
Did
candidate.
he say Dennis Deal?
Dennis deal.
I second that, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
I got that down.
which I don't
Moving
know.
second to approve Dennis Deal appointment to the Behavioral Health Board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Next, did you talk to him?
Oh,
If
yeah,
he would take
yeah,
it.
he's willing, he's cleared it. He
I should
wanted to
have
make
asked
sure
that
there was
before
no
we voted,
conflict
but-
of interest.
Okay, item number 12 on here is solid waste ordinance discussion.
Madam Chair, we make the recommendation to table that. We're still gathering some information from our folks at the truck shop, their recommendations, and then we want to bring them to the board as well as what the board's comments are, so.
Okay. We need a move and second to table it, don't we? Or is it just stated in the records that it's tabled?
Motion to.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, do I hear a motion to table the solid waste ordinance discussion?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. And second?
Second, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a move and second to table the solid waste ordinance discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Moving on to number 13, scheduling a public hearing for the Dickinson County Behavioral Health Services fiscal year 2023 at our next month's meeting on August the 23rd at 5:50. Move and second on that, to schedule that public hearing.
I'll make a move, we schedule that at the time of our board meeting
Okay.
at the 5:50.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a move and second to schedule a public hearing with Behavioral Health Services fiscal year 2023. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well.
Aye.
Number 14, budget appropriation schedule fiscal year 2023. Mr.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Pardon?
This is something that we do each year as far as the appropriations that go out to the county departments. And of course, you have the option to do those appropriations monthly, quarterly, or annually. Currently, and in the past, we normally do those quarterly with all departments. So that's the recommendation that Ms. Fuller has sent to the board for your approval.
Okay.
That's for the school.
Well, this is for like our fire and rescue,
Oh, got it.
different departments like that.
So if we
behavioral health.
appropriate a $50,000 for the fire department, then it would go in
12.5 is what they get each quarter. We do the
quarter payout.
Oh, yeah, the quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly like that. The
Yeah, we
schools
do
get
this
theirs
every year.
monthly.
I'm sorry.
Generally
Yeah.
get all the other.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Ms. Treasurer?
Do I hear a move in second to,
Madam Chair, I move that we accept Ms. Fuller's recommendation for quarterly appropriations.
I'll second it.
we have a move in second to approve the budget appropriation schedule of paying it quarterly that Ms. Fuller has recommended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye as well. We are moved down to number 15 for other business, and we have, I guess, you
We have
want,
15A that has the letter from the schools.
And that's why I had it written down, and I have that wrong.
So, Madam Chair, thank you.
Yes.
Item 15A is going to be standard protocol that we do each year. The last day of the fiscal year, the school always submits a letter to the treasurer's office showing what their unexpended funds are for that year. And they give a breakdown of what those are, and they request to carry those forward into the following year. So what they had this year, total unexpended balances was $1,383,684.95. And they're requesting to carry that over into fiscal year 22-23.
okay?
Mr. Barton, I have no qualms with the carryover. I am fine with that. I would like us to get into the ballpark of, okay, you've got this left over, we would like to keep it, and what it's gonna be used for. And in this case, I would expect a prompt, the answer might be, well, we didn't authorize what they originally asked for, and that's fine with me on that.
Yeah, I'll be glad to reach
But
out
I'm
to the
not
school.
questioning I'm in favor of it.
Okay. I can talk to Ms. Robinson,
Yeah.
Ms. Taylor, and let them know in the future that.
Kind of like
they
what the
provide
health
some
department
information.
has done in the past, they've had overages and they've requested to hold on to it. And then, they've come to us and told us what they plan to do with the money and that. And it's a little
Right.
different with the school because, like I said, we didn't give them what they originally requested, so I can understand that's probably what it'll fill in on.
Okay.
So, our appropriation was 4.7 to them this year in our budget. Is that correct?
Yes, I think they'd asked for 5.9.
And so this gives them actually more than what they requested.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Agree.
I just want that clarified for the record.
Yeah,
That's
They used
correct.
almost 6 million, right? So,
Yeah,
we
they're,
want people to understand, and I'll make a motion that we let them carry over the amount that they have here, 1.3.
Do you have something else, Mr. Barton?
no, I was
I'll
looking at that
second it.
amount exactly for you.
Okay, we have a move and second on the table to allow the Dickinson County Public Schools to carry forward their balance of 1.383 million over into this 2022-2023 operating year. All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Aye as well. Now we're moving on down to 15B.
15B, Madam Chair, thank you. We had another agenda, and I apologize for the confusion with this, but some of these items are items that we've talked about in the past, and, we do, once we get this budget and hire behind us, we do need to try to schedule a ARPA workshop and try to get back on track with some of the things that we've been working on. But Mr. Bartley, Hayside Volunteer Rescue Squad, of course, he'd approached us previously, and they had written a grant, an 80-20 grant for a new ambulance, and he'd let me know when they received notification, I guess about a month ago, that they were awarded the new ambulance. And when we talked about it in a previous ARPA workshop back in April, we still had this request here, but $50,662 would be the 20%. And I think we kind of tentatively agreed that we would cover that 20% out of ARPA funding for the match so that they could get a new ambulance. And they've got 2 right now that are pretty disrepair, and this will really help them out tremendously. That's our first request. We'll have to look at each one of these individually.
Okay, requesting move and second to approve the $50,622 match to the Hayside Volunteer Rescue Squad from our ARPA funds.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second it.
We have a move and second to approve the match funds for the Hayside Volunteer Rescue Squad from the ARPA funds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Item B next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again,
Yes.
another item that we've talked about many times in our workshops and even other meetings outside of our workshops is the issue that we have with our E911 as far as communications with police, fire, and rescue. How we have the dead spots, and even sometimes in Main Street, Clintwood, they can't get out. If you'll recall, we had a request previously for, I want to say about $12,000 to come out and actually do some work on the towers and analyze each tower and do a propagation study. And MCA has come out and climbed each of our towers. They've tested all of our equipment, and they gave us a list of what the needs were. I think, Mr. Evans, you were at one of our early meetings that we had on this, and then when they presented the results, I went over and met with them on that. But they've determined, we need to replace most all the antennas on the top of the towers, new cabling, remove the old cabling off the towers, and some other items that are needed. And another big thing would be to add, because right now, like the towers start out here at the sheriff's office at E911, they have a tower there, and it communicates with, the first tower here in Clintwood, and they bounce from tower to tower, the beams do. If something happens and one tower goes down, especially if it's one of the early towers, everything behind it goes down. Nothing goes through. This would be changing over to what's called cradle point, and the signal would go out like over cellular, and it would be received at each of the individual towers, the 5 towers that we have, and retransmitted that way. That way, if you get a broken link, it doesn't
It'll
take
make it
everything
more
else
resilient.
down. And also, it'll really improve communications with a lot of the redundancy that they've had from some of the channels on the rescue and fire, where they hear the same thing coming in 3 or 4 times, the people in dispatch that can't make it out. But it's a big price tag, $111,029.41, but they give us pretty well assurance that this should take care of the problems that we have in the county, because previously, I think Jeremy and Scotty are both here, back, years ago, when everything was new and when things weren't working, we had pretty good communication in the county. We didn't have these dead spots that we have now, and a lot of things, just the age and deterioration of some of the equipment and cabling that we have, and then some of the components. Guys, I don't know if y'all have anything to add or anything to this, but that's all my understanding from the meetings that I've been to, so.
That's what I understand too, but, it's not only for the sheriff's office, it's for the fire and rescue. All of us got family. We have a hard time, we got a dispatcher sitting here. He can tell you, Hayside hollers in, a lot of times you can't even hear them holler in, though they're en route. Even the members going to the station, you can't hear them. And one of our families may be, sick, what if we can't get to them? And we had, just the other night, we had pursued again. Up in West Bank, we had no radio communication with our officer. Just like
Very dangerous.
something happened on Candy Ridge, how would you like to be there and not be able to get on the radio?
Madam
Like
Chair.
one of us going to them and you can't hear them. You don't know if they're dead or what. It's a scary time out here. And we hope this will do a lot of good, because the newest antennas we got is probably 13 to 15 years old. They don't sound that old, but once it's set up in the sun, everything starts breaking down on them, start getting water in them, corroding.
Ice, everything.
They're not good.
Serial
Everybody
communications.
lies are lying out here because we don't have good radio communication. I know it ain't y'all's fault. Y'all done a great job helping us. anything we come in and ask for, if y'all can, y'all try to help us with it, we appreciate it.
You're on,
It's scary out there, I mean, I work in Hayside most of the time, you get it for a B, you forget getting out on the radio. You make a traffic stop, you're on a domestic, you're on a fight, you're on a shooting, you can't speak to anybody,
No cell service.
no cell phone.
Madam Chair, this is something Mr. Barton's wrestled with, we've wrestled with. I'd like to make a motion, we approve the $111,029.41 to upgrade the antennas.
I'll second it.
Did you have a comment there?
Well, I was just gonna say, just from the start, it's archaic technology if it's serial like that. A failure in the middle kills it.
Kills everything
We-
behind it. then,
We've
so.
been way past that for years, and we need to get our network up there.
And I'll speak up for y'all both. We did submit a grant, it's for $1.3 million, upgrade the radios, but we don't know if we'll get it. But, hey, we're trying, we try everything we do, get grants and so on, so it's not hurting any of the taxpayers' money. We try our best to get everything we can get, but we do need them, and we need them desperately bad.
Thank you. Okay,
Thanks,
we
Scott.
have, did you have something?
No.
We have a move and second on the floor to approve the ARPA fund request to the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office 911 communication. All in favor, please say aye. Aye as well.
Madam Chair, one more thing on that topic before we move on.
Yes.
I want to say Larry has done a really good job of being responsive to the dispatchers and to the sheriff's office. This is something that has been sort of important to me personally, and we've really worked hard to try to move this thing. And so he's done a lot of meetings, a lot of research. I just want to point that out. This is something that we're trying to fix for our guys. You know, like Scotty said, if you're in a holler, in a hole, fighting, getting shot at, the last thing you want to think about is not being able to call for help. So I appreciate Larry prioritizing that.
Yeah, I think they may have been here when we got CARES funding, wanting to know if they could start looking at that to get some help with that.
Yeah.
So it's been a
It's
while.
definitely been a
And
priority, I think, for you all as a
Well,
board.
we
This has
had-
been a
they had to
priority with funding
research
that
it.
you've wanted to do, so.
yeah.
They had to bring in specialists to look at it, and this is something we all agreed to
Yeah.
together, that this was a priority. So there's no question.
This don't just help 911 office or the sheriff's office. This helps the citizens of the county to feel a little comfortable of getting help. Yes. Okay, moving on to item number C, the general registrar. This is the request for the ARPA funds to cover the additional voting machines and to purchase the presentation that Ms. Deal gave us tonight on the no ink.
Yes, on the poll pads and
Yes.
printers. Madam Chair, you have two requests, and I split them up. The first is $29,915, which is the two quotes that you approved as item 10 on the agenda. We'll consider that first. The second one is the additional voting machine that was ordered before last election, actually, and it's just now coming in. Am I correct in that, Ms. Deal?
Yeah, that's the voting machine, which shall be moved to make Longsport, to recreate the Longsport precinct. We actually had ordered it last July, but unfortunately due to COVID and the supply-demand shortage, they couldn't get all of the pieces for it, but it was delivered to us approximately 3 weeks ago, I guess, at this point. So we do have it now, but that's what that machine was purchased for.
And all this will come out of ARPA funds.
It will, yes.
Makes sense.
And they're all eligible
Yeah,
uses of
because
ARPA funds.
it
So
really impacted voting.
a lot of changes with voting.
So
Two-
do
two
we need to
separate
do one at a
requests.
time?
We probably need to do them one at a time. Do the poll pads and printers first, the $29,915.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the 29,915, I think he said.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Yep. For our voting machines and that contract.
And second?
Josh second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't hear him. Sorry about that.
Oh, I understand.
Moving second is on the floor to approve ARPA funds for the purchase of poll pads and printers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Now, moving a second for the electoral board for additional voting machine.
It's more for $8,625, so.
I
Madam Chair, I'll make a
approve
motion that
those
we
also.
approve.
I believe I heard
Oh.
Ms. Willis.
Oh, I didn't
She
hear,
made
I'm
the
sorry.
motion,
I'll
yes.
second it then. Okay.
Okay, we have moving second on the floor to approve from ARPA funds the additional voting machine of $86.25. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay. Brings us down to, are there any other business to come before, or? Okay. This brings us down to item number 16, which is our closed meeting.
Have we approved this?
I'll make a motion that we go
Wait
into.
just a minute, I think Ms. Willis.
I noticed we have a payment here from Mr. Sturgill. Do we need to approve that
I
or
assume that
what?
was in the expenditures, that's what
Was
my
it in our
assumption was.
expenditures?
It should have been with the expenditures, and
All
we
right.
should have clarified that. I just seen at the bottom of
Well,
my
that was my
stack too,
assumption.
so it generally is.
I don't
when
think we need another vote, but
We don't need we
don't-
approve the expenditures. if we-
Usually we combine it with the expenditures when we approve them.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 16, closed session.
I'll make a
Proceed.
motion that we go into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A 1 and 5, at A, Section 2.2-3711A 1, personnel and all departments. B, Section 2.2-3711A 5, economic development 1 update.
Okay, and a second for that.
I'll second it.
We have a moving second to go into closed session as read by Mrs. Sluss for pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A 1 and 5. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. We are now in closed session.
got Teresa up.
Yep. Teresa, you got us back on? We are now out of closed session, and I will need a motion and second to certify that only matters for closed session was discussed.
Well, I make a motion that we only discuss personnel and economic development in our closed session.
Okay?
I'll second it.
We have a moving second on the floor for coming out of closed session to certify that only matters was discussed from our code for what we went in for. And roll call vote, Ms. Willis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Lusk?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Yes, for myself. Now, are there any motions?
Madam Chairman,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire John Grover Carrico, otherwise known as Buddy, for a truck driver mechanic at the truck shop.
I'll second.
We have a moving second on the floor to hire Buddy Carrico, as everybody knows him more so as the mechanic for the truck shop. All in favor, please say aye. Aye as well.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve Terry Barton, and please correct me if I say this wrong, FLMA time off,
FMLA, okay.
that we approve that.
Okay. A second for that?
I'll second that motion.
We have a moving second on the floor to approve the FLMA request of Terry Barton. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We
well.
need to state that this is following our personnel policy manual,
Okay,
correct?
Yeah,
you get that?
it is in accordance with that.
Okay. Does any supervisor have any comment that they would like to make? Hearing none, then I will move on to item number 20, which is, we are not adjourning tonight. We are recessing and reconvening tomorrow at 12:30 back here in the board office. Do I
Madam
hear?
Chair, I'll make that motion.
Okay. And a second?
I'll second.
Have a moving second to stand recess until tomorrow at 12:30 here in the board office. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well, and thank everybody for attending.